Hello, y'all. We're gonna dive into today who your soulmate is. Now, here's the interesting thing. I thought about this a little bit and I thought, well, I feel, and this is just my personal opinion, but I think it rings true. I think that we have multiple soulmates in our lifetime. So depending on which contract you have with them, you can have a soulmate who is a karmic partner that teaches you something about self. You can have soulmates in friends. You know, so there are varying forms of soulmates that we have realistically. So I thought, instead of labeling it, I'm still going to call it like who's your soulmate, because I feel like that's what everyone's going to resonate into. But I think that when reading, we're going to label it as like, who is your life mate? As in, who are you intended to ride out this wave of life with? So I think that's how we will move forward in this reading. That way, this is about partnerships that are intended for the long term and not soul contracts or, you know, different kind of soulmates in that department. I guess some people would argue that a soulmate is not a karmic contract, but sometimes I feel like, I mean, some of these karmic contracts have a longevity to them. So you're spending actually years with someone and you're actually learning through the entire process of being in that space with somebody. I mean, some people actually are in karmic relationships for a very long time. So I don't know if I agree with that per se. So soulmate is somebody, I think it is like, who are you intended to be with, okay? And see it and view it in that, from that perspective, as opposed to just, you know, a blanket statement. So let's go ahead and just dive right into this. We have group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. Hello, group 1. Good morning. Good morning. Is it morning when you're listening to this? It's morning for me when I'm recording this. So let me know what time of day it is when you're watching this. All right, group 1. We're going to dive into a few different things in regards to your person and your life mate in this space. The first thing we're going to do is their character, then we'll do their energy, and then we'll do a read on kind of what's going on in your life when you meet this person, okay? All right, so group 1, you got chop wood. So this is somebody who is going to be willing to do the work with you and who wants to work with you. They want to work together with you. The number that comes out on this deck is 42. I don't know if that means anything to you. It could be, I mean, they're just, you know, April 2nd, or there's like so many different things. I don't know why. For some reason, I felt compelled to mention the numbers. I don't usually do that, so it must have purpose in some way. Either way, this is somebody who is willing to do the work, or they could be somebody that perhaps to you and presents to you as though there's somebody who is a hard worker and who puts in a lot of effort into the things that they have faith in, or that they enjoy, or they're very passionate about their work. Those are all kind of things I think that would indicate that this may be your person. So this is somebody who is definitely just, they're here for the long haul kind of thing. They're not the type of person that is going to just bail out on you when things get tough. They're going to want to work through those situations and work through those problems. So this is somebody who's going to be really, honestly, reassuring in that what they are working on towards you is an end goal. I think that as a life mate, which is what we're tapping into in this space, this is somebody who they're not going to just run on you or give up on you. So they're going to continue wanting to work on this relationship with you. So that's good. In terms of their character, what is the character of group 1's life mate? You have the oyster and the unicorn. What else do we have here? The bear. So funny, all these topics about bears. The cosmic egg. Let's see if we can do a couple more. The nightingale. And what else do we got here? The phoenix. Okay. So this is definitely somebody who I would say is, just with the unicorn coming out, the unicorn is, you know, it's like this majestic animal, and there's an enigma surrounding this creature, right? So it's really mysterious, and it's very unique and eclectic and one of a kind, and people argue that it might not exist. And so some element of you might honestly have been in a space or a mindset that what you want is never going to come to fruition, and this person is going to prove to you that you're wrong. So that's like one element of it, but also I think they're just going to stand out. I do feel it's going to be one of those situations where this person is going to be, they're just going to always kind of come into they're going to be hard to forget, or you're not going to be able to just shake this person. They're going to be, like, how they approach you is going to be different. How they interact with you is going to be different. How they care for you is going to be different than what you've experienced in the past. And so that's what's going to stand out with this person. Now, I do feel like there's going to be a moment with this person where they are a little bit, that it might take a second to sort of get into their inner world. So they may have some really deep emotions for you, but I think in the beginning phases of dealing with this person, or how you're going to view them and know that this is them, is that they're going to have all these things that they maybe don't tell you right at first. And then it's like kind of like with the nightingale and the oyster over here, right? It's like these feelings, or how they truly feel, is kind of kept in the dark a little bit. And so, but at some point, I think maybe they'll be singing like a canary. I don't know. I think you'll eventually be able to get this out of them. They do have, the bear is a really spiritual card in the deck. And this is, so they could be somebody who meditates, or who has some sort of spiritual practice that they believe in, or spirituality is going to be kind of a center in their life. They could even, you know, they could live a God-centered life. They could pray often, or have something that about them that's kind of even religious. They could be religious, but I do feel like it's more spirituality with the phoenix showing up here, because this would indicate that they have an understanding of sort of the ascension process. And so this is somebody who has is kind of an alchemist, and that makes sense too with the chop wood thing. As like, this is somebody who has been through a lot and then risen above it, and just like over and over again. It's like that phrase, like, get knocked down 7, get up 8 kind of thing. Your person is really comfortable actually with dusting themselves off and getting back up and trying again, rather than being defeated. In fact, they don't have much of a defeatist mindset at all. They do keep, they do have a bit of a protective energy surrounding their kind of inner world and the more imaginative space that they have internally, or at least their sort of deeper emotions. I feel like they kind of keep those on wrap, but also they're really creative and do tend to give some, you know, a bit of themselves and put themselves out there, especially in a way that's going to indicate to you that this person is sort of that unicorn energy. They're really one of a kind. And I think, at least in terms of you know, previous relationships that you've had or people that you have around you. I think they're going to really stand out among those people. And so I don't think this is going to be somebody that you're really going to miss. I think you're going to be kind of instantly drawn to them, or at least drawn to them in a way that keeps you kind of, piques your curiosity with them, and you kind of, this isn't somebody that you can easily shake. Okay, so that's kind of their character, or at least how you're going to understand who this person is. And we'll get into their energy. Sorry, I think I just bumped the camera. Their energy, how you're going to know that this is your person. What is the energy of person 1, please? The Queen. This doesn't have to be gender specific. It could be the King as well. The Threshold. When you meet them, they could be kind of going through something, or they could be on like the brink of stepping in, like kind of going through a transition in their life, is how you're going to know that this is your person. The eternal, they could have a childlike personality, or when you meet them, you may kind of think that there's some things about them that might be a little bit immature, I guess. Or they could be very playful, very childlike in that sense. What else do we have here? You may see them as somebody who has gone through several life transitions, or who's comfortable with that process. They may be somebody that it takes you a while to figure out, or you don't really see them for who they are initially. Or you could think that there is quite a bit that they have kind of, that they're keeping from you in terms of feelings. They're going to be very honest. So that's interesting is, like, I think one of the things that you might build into an awareness here, collective one, is that at first I think you're going to think that there's like all these things that they're not telling you, but then come into an awareness that everything they do tell you is the truth. And so if they express any feelings towards you, these are really honest. Sustainer, I feel like this is somebody who really has been through quite a bit, and they're very resilient. So they have a really resilient energy. They're able to kind of push through things in, kind of in a way that these are things that might break somebody else down, but they use this sort of as, here with the stepping stone. I feel like your person really has this like life path of transforming, or this life path of sort of transitioning or going through things that they're kind of always kind of jumping into the next threshold of self, and in particular with self, because you have the mystic here. And so I think that this journey that they're on is really like a self journey. Arguably, they could be on a journey back to their internal child. So they are going to be, it's like they have a duality within them. They can be really serious and really kind of in like a bit of a, I don't want to say boss energy, but a leadership energy, I guess, with these things over here. And then on this side, it's like a little bit more of a wild card. Interestingly, is like they can be real, they could even be a bit cutthroat, but not necessarily in a way that is, they're just fair, I guess, is more the accurate depiction here of this judge card. But then they're also playful, and then it also seems like there may be things that they're just not telling you in terms of like how they feel or things that they have been through. They may keep a part of themselves pretty wrapped up. And it may take you a second to sort of dig in there and see why they're on this life path, or why they have, how they've gotten to where they are today, kind of thing. But I think that some presenting characteristic traits, I definitely feel like they're very playful with you. Is going to be like one of the things that you're going to notice about them. And they're going to be really deep too. Let's see if I can get you one more. Yeah, and here we are with the gem thing too. Is I just think that they're going to stand out to you. So some things that I think you're going to know pretty instantaneously about this person is that they have been through a lot and they've risen above it. That's going to be one element that I think is going to be apparent with this person. Another that you may have at least an inkling of is that they have a lot of deep emotions. They have kind of like that ocean of emotion, right? And then the gem here as well, they're going to just stand out. I think they're going to just be a little bit different than what you're used to in a good way. And then they're going to be very playful with you and also very honest with you. So I do feel like, honestly, group one or collective one, if you were to ask this person how they felt about you, I think they would probably be honest with you. So, all right, let's find out what's been going on in your life when you meet this person. All right. Should we use, let's use light seers. All right. What is going on in collective one's life when they meet this person? You could be going through some pretty heavier things when you meet this person. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, hold on. Let me get out the rest of the cards. Oh, interesting. You very well could be, this is weird for some of us, but like you could have been in another connection or like feeling still committed to another connection when you met this person. Or going through some healing because of a connection. Okay. So that's kind of also a thing here too. Okay. So what will be going on in your life is that you'll meet this person when things just seem like, you know, it's really interesting, but I just had this hit of like, this person is going to be like a light at the end of a tunnel for you. And you're not going to know that maybe when you meet them, but it's like, they're going to pop in. It's sort of like they are just kind of gifted to you in like the worst moment. So like you're going through a ton of things. You have a whole lot that it's like holding you back, but I think eventually you'll recognize that it was actually you holding yourself back. But you'll be going through this big upheaval in your life. Okay, so how you're gonna know that this is your person is that you're just gonna you're just gonna meet them when things are not the best. Okay, and then I think what's gonna happen too is that you're going to move then. At some point, you're going to move pretty quickly and sort of walking away from the past or walking away from a situation that's no longer serving you. And then you're going to move into this sort of new beginning where new ideas are forming, or you're going to just start receiving kind of downloads or upgrades, or you're going to be going through a lot of learning around the time that you meet this person. It could even come in sort of after you meet this person, then you begin sort of downloading all these things. You're going to be in a space of, okay, so it is either that like you meet them as soon as it's like very close to ending a relationship or some kind of connection. Or it's like you are still connected to another connection and healing from that. So and really having resilience in that space. So I think actually when you meet this person, you're going to be connected to somebody else still, or having just been connected to somebody else is sort of, I guess, the timeline on knowing when it is that you'll meet this person. So for some of you, I guess we could ask, well, actually, I feel like I was going to say we could ask if you've met them already, but for some of you, I actually feel like you have not, and others of you have, and you kind of know the whole timeline here. So I don't know if that's appropriate to ask in this space, because I do feel like there's parallel storylines coming into this space. But let's ask the outcome in this situation on like what the outcome is going to be with this connection. Now, I asked life mate, so I feel like I don't even know if that makes sense for me to ask here, but I feel like it's going to be like, okay, let's do, what kind of relationship are you going to have with this person? How about that? What kind of relationship is group 1 going to have with this person? At some point, it's just going to move a lot more quickly. Very passionate. This may actually, interesting, like I feel like this may be a connection that really makes you kind of reflect on your own behaviors, which is not a bad thing. It is going to be very abundant. Let's see what else we have here. Going to cause a lot of resilient. Going to encourage you to take a lot of risks forward, or not risks, but jump forward. So the kind of relationship that you have, I think you're going to actually encourage one another to kind of be in this space more. This is going to be where it's like, just as much as you support this person on their endeavors, they also support you. And I think you both are in a space of encouraging one another to be the best versions of yourself without really doing it in a way that is, it's not really harmful to the other person. There may be moments though, I think, in this connection where you do have like some behaviors that maybe you present in this space with this person that do cause you to go in and reflect on self and then kind of change that. But I think this is something with this 2 of Wands here that is going to be, it's like if you're going within and you're looking at self and you're analyzing self and you're assessing your behaviors, so are they, kind of thing. And I do think that there's going to be a moment where everything just kind of moves, or like, I don't know if there's like a slow pace to this for a moment or there's a while of reflection, but at some point it's going to move much quicker and with a lot more passion. You may, honestly, how you guys are going to connect more might be through physical connection, or like the passion that you have for one another in that space. Maybe how you kind of build upon this relationship, or maybe one or the 2 of you kind of need that in order to feel secure in a relationship. But there is going to be quite a bit of passion here. So I think you are going to be physically attracted to one another. And then what is also going to occur in this phase is that you're going to be able to alchemize together and build together. So this is a really abundant relationship in terms of, it doesn't necessarily have to be monetary fulfillment. Abundance works in all kinds of ways, but this could be emotional abundance. It really is going to be, but I would argue, honestly, when you have a cheerleader in your corner and you have someone that is supporting you, encouraging you, and giving you love, you do sort of automatically upgrade in that space. Like, it's energetic alignment, right? So arguably, if it's a very healthy connection and you are very supportive of one another, you're going to experience these quick, moves forward more often. Yeah, and it's kind of like being in this space too of really like looking out at, it's kind of like y'all were in sort of a scarcity mindset for a long time, and then this relationship expands all of that, and it just, you see, like, I don't know, you just work together really well, actually. So that is your life mate, collective 1. If this was interesting for you, or you resonated with this, do like and subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment down below if maybe you know this person. If you are looking for a personal reading, you can shoot me an email at thetemporaltaurus@outlook.com to set that up with me. Thank you so much for being here, collective 1. Enjoy the rest of your day. Collective 2. Hello, collective 2. I just want to say, tapping into your energy right now, it just makes me feel like happy. I don't know how to explain it. There's not a whole lot of energies that I meet and interact with that make my inner child feel safe, but your energy here really does. And it's like interesting because when I find an energy that makes me feel really playful, it's like I just want to dissect that even more. So I love that about your energy because it's a very safe place to play in. Or that's your person's energy. Maybe that's it. Maybe it could be you. I don't know if it's your energy or your person's energy, honestly. Come to think of it. So I'm not sure, but I mean, I feel like it's you since we're tapping in, you know, to your thing. How I'm wording this today is actually not soulmate, it's life mate. The title is like soulmate, but what we're going to do is word it so that this is like who you're going to end up with for the long term. Like this is your life mate. Okay. So collective 2, you have here and now. The interesting thing here, collective 2, is that I feel like you already know your person, or you're kind of like, it's like you're kind of peeking in to see if someone that you're dealing with is who you are intended to be with, kind of thing. So interesting for you, collective 2, I kind of get the feeling that you already know this person. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap into their characteristic traits, and then we will do their energy. Okay, so let's figure out what's going on here. Here and now, you already know this person. So what are their characteristic traits? I do feel like, okay, so it's either that you already know them or that you're just like in the moment of when you're going to meet this person. Okay, so it's one of those two scenarios, I should say. What is the characteristics of group 2's person? What is the characteristics of group 2's person? It could be someone who, like, it's weird to say this, but like, they could be somebody who is kind of like a night owl. I know it's a bat, but it's like, I got nocturnal coming out. The dragon. Okay. Oh, nice. And the snake. Ooh, I just love these cards. Okay. The bear. The nightingale and the firefly. Ooh, I have the elephant too. We gotta come out here with it. Ooh, the lion. Okay. Who is your person? Okay. I don't know. Did I cut those off? I'm notorious for that. And this is a big spread. Kind of, yeah. Okay, I'll move these up. Oh, this is such a big energy. Okay, so a couple things. I think that your person, oh, I also have the hawk here as well. Sorry, I just like, these are really important cards in my opinion. So, okay, this is a lot to unpack here. I have two cards that kind of say either, okay, so like their feelings are kind of being in the dark and then eventually they're going to come to light. Like, they could be somebody who really works better at, it's like while the rest of the world is up and awake during the day, they could be somebody who's up at night. It kind of, it's like reminding me of that Hosier song, Too Sweet, right? Where they're talking about like, what's he say? I'll take my whiskey, anyway, he says like his bed at 3, but you know what I mean? So like, it's like this person is probably a bit nocturnal in some way. I also feel like this is somebody who really loves like the nectar of life. They could be somebody who enjoys, like being outdoors even, or just being in nature with the hummingbird. I feel like they kind of They could also be a bit easily distracted, or they could have had a history really of being someone who was, perhaps like, I guess, and like they could be distracted by things that are like shiny object syndrome a little bit. A little. These other cards indicate that they have a balance on it. So they could be somebody who's really spiritual. So they could meditate, they could understand energy work. They could have and I wouldn't say like a dark side, but, well, I don't know. They could have a past too, but they are somebody who has been through some things and is now like moving towards the light. They're very wise. And they've been through a lot of things. So with the elephant card, the elephant has one of its tusks broken, and there's like fire in its flame. There's a hit on the third eye too. So it's like they've weathered several storms. They may present to you a bit prideful, with the lion coming out. However, you have the dragon here, and the dragon is like the final transformation of the scorpion like pathways. So it's like Scorpio, hawk, phoenix, dragon, right? So somebody who's been through a lot of transformations, and also they have some real thick skin. I don't think you can really ruffle the feathers of this person very easily. And I do think they're very observant though. I think they'll probably spend quite a bit of time vetting you a little bit before determining whether or not they want to, you know, I just said something really dirty. You know, probably want to seek your nectar, I guess. Okay. Anyway, moving along. And they could actually see the world in a bit of a, okay, so it's not necessarily like off the beaten path, but I think they see it, like I would argue that this would be somebody who would look at like the systems at play in the way that the world works, and they would probably question it or think that things are like BS. So I think their way of thinking is very kind of nomad space, honestly. It's like they're not going to, this isn't somebody who's in a conformity, you know, or comfortable with conformity, or going to be like, they're not going to want to be someone who fits in. In fact, I think that they kind of like that they stand out, or and maybe they don't even like it, they just do stand out. That's another thing too. All right, I hope you all can't hear my son. He is like very excited about his video game. He recently was allowed back on it and has a headset that he was allowed. It's been like, sorry, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but it's been like several months. He hasn't been allowed to have a headset, and he just got that back, and man, the kid is like so excited. He's being a little bit loud today, so I don't know if you can hear him yelling. And I can't really just go out there and be like, shh, because I'm in the middle of this. So it is what it is. We have background noise with a little, I don't know, Fortnite must be super exciting today. Okay, oops, I was going into the wrong space. Energy. What is your person's energy? Okay. What is Collective 2's person's energy? You have the unseen, the mentor. I think this is somebody that you're going to really learn from, or is going to just teach you a lot about yourself. They're going to stand out to you. I think that how you're going to know this is your person is, I think that they're super mysterious to you. It's like there's things about them that you don't know and you're going to really want to peek in on. They may have very strong masculine energy. They could be really intelligent in sort of an unorthodox way. And they could have a really healing energy. Yeah, when I popped into this, I was like, if I feel like my inner child feels safe, that's huge for me. Very, 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 very huge. So I do feel like they have a really healing, safe energy to them. Now, I do feel like this is somebody that you're going to feel kind of instantly committed to in some way. It's like weird because this vow is here. And so it's like, I almost feel, collective too, that you are going to just feel with this person that they are meant for you very early on into meeting them, honestly. Or you may be in that moment right now with somebody where you're just like feeling so connected to them and as though they are meant for you in some capacity, but there's also going to be this element here of like it's almost like uncertainty in this space at the unseen. It's like, I feel like you're going to feel all these things, but not really have it validated to you right away in this space. And so it might cause you to, maybe question the connection a little bit, but ultimately you're going to see all these things about them. You're going to learn a lot from this person through interacting with them. They very well could be a good dad, you know, I guess if they have children. Or they could be somebody who just, again, we had that inner child hit again. So they could be just somebody who nurtures you in a way that just feels like you're safe with them and everything is going to be okay, kind of thing. I don't know how to explain it, but they just feel right. And they feel like safe for your inner child. That's like a huge thing here. They could be somebody who is kind of orphaned. So they could have, I mean, they could be like literally orphaned, where they have lost their, you know, family, and it's kind of just them on their own, or they could just be kind of on their own and maybe they have disconnected with their family, or they are just kind of by themselves in some capacity. Like they're very like lone wolf energy. So I don't think that they have a whole big giant circle around them. And I do feel like they kind of have been isolated a bit, or they just stand out amongst society. So this is not going to be somebody who really requires having like an army of people around them. So I would argue that they kind of probably really operate really well with on their own. Even they could be somebody who is like really accustomed to kind of doing things for themselves, by themselves, and not having to really contend with anybody else, which could possibly be why there may be things that you don't know in terms of like how they feel or anything like that. And there's also the offering. So I do think at some point this person is going to come in with an offer towards you. Okay, or you could be offering something to them, but or it's mutual, but I think that it's more so this person. Primarily because the energy of this person is like, I don't think that you'd actually be able to convince them. It would have to be their choice. That's okay. All right, what's going to be going on in your life when you meet this person? Group. You'll be in sort of a new beginning, going through some rapid changes. You'll be working on probably building your own stability. Ooh, goodness. What else do we got going on here? Interesting. Okay, you could meet them when you've been going through just a difficult time in life in regards to, specifically in regards to connections, like having been in a space with a connection, sorry. You could have been interrupted. Maybe you're in a space of being interrupted. So anyway, you could have met this person sort of, I guess, after kind of walking away from energies that maybe were manipulative, specifically where it was like all words, no actions, and they had this sort of, I think this is like a false emperor in some way, that you had been dealing with, where it was somebody who just had this sort of prideful, I guess, persona to them, where they seemed like, it's like they wanted you to believe that everything was, I guess, copacetic, and really they were dishonest. And actually I would argue that you would have been the one in this space that was a little bit more that you had it more together realistically than this person did. And so I think you would have met this person sort of after walking away from a situation like that, and in a space that what was going on in your life was like really rapid growth, or having to, it's like, or like everything was kind of coming down quickly around you, and having to be in a space where you were kind of having to start over and look at life from a whole new lens, and see things as like zoom out and figure out how to move your path forward. What else? And I feel like that's kind of like the message, really. I think that's really would indicate, you would know when it is that you are meeting this person or have met this person. And also you could maybe meet them when in a space where you're dealing with other people that are kind of interested in you. That's another hit here as well. Let's figure out what kind of relationship you're going to have with this person, though. I just had a card fall out. It's going to be really passionate. It's going to be equal give and take. You're going to work together. It's going to require patience. It may put you in a space of reflecting on self, but it's going to be very balanced and stable, and really put you into, it's just gonna, it's interesting because it's gonna, like, on one hand, it's going to put you in spaces where you are, it's almost as though y'all are together going to work into kind of building a new, like, how do I explain this? It's like the ways in which you saw relationships and connections in the past and how you operated in those are going to shift in this space, and you are going to operate differently than you had. And because of that, it's going to be a lot of internal, like, you're going to learn so much in this space from one another. It's like they operate a certain way and you learn so much about yourself in that space, and then you operate a certain way and they learn so much about themselves in that space. And this 10 of Swords here, which typically the 10 of Swords is like a betrayal card, but in the Light Seers deck, I just don't see it that way. And I think that's maybe why I pulled out this deck today, because the imagery is a lot different. But I think it's like walking away from those like sort of limiting beliefs that held you down in the past, is how the 10 of Swords hits in this deck. And so I think that this person and you are going to sort of have a new beginning on how you operate within relationships and how you see relationships working, and how to truly be in a space of equal give and take with another person. And so that to me is going to be the type of relationship that you have with this person. And also I feel like there's going to be quite a bit of passion and quite a bit of stability. And there will be at some point some forward movement where things begin to move a little bit more quickly in this space. So that is how you're going to know who your life partner is. In some way, it could be that this is somebody that you're meeting. If you don't have an awareness yet of who this is, you're either going to meet this person this year or soon. It would be an indicator with the Here and Now card. All right, group 2, excuse me, sorry. If you resonated with this reading, please like and subscribe to my channel for more content in the future. If you are interested in setting up a private reading with me, you can send me an email at thetemporaltaurus@outlook.com. You can also follow me on Instagram for small pick-a-card readings that I do post there as well that are not the same messages that come out here on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here, Collective 2. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hello, group 3. I feel like you're in a moment, group 3, of like indecision, or your person's in a moment of indecision. I don't know, but it's just feeling like a little bit more it's very masculine energy in this space. It's like I want to just go do something. Go do something. Okay, your card is Go the Distance, which makes perfect sense for the energy in this space. I do think that this is somebody who is going to chase you. I think that this is somebody who's going to keep choosing you. I don't think they're going to be somebody who lets you just walk away very easily. So this is going to be somebody who's like, it's kind of like, I want you. And they're going to keep letting you know that they want you. It's kind of funny, honestly, because it's like they're very persistent, but they're very playful at the same time. And this like go to distant energy is very funny. Because it's like, I don't know how to describe it really. It's like they just, I don't know. It's like this is like, honestly, it's like they won't take no for an answer. They might honestly kind of annoy you at some point where it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but they're a very persistent person. Okay, let's get into what is group 3's character. I don't know if you saw either that I labeled this. I labeled the video soulmate, but when I'm asking the cards, I'm asking life mate because I feel like we have multiple soulmates. So this is who you're intended to end up with, okay? What is the energy of this person that group 3 is intended to end up with, please? The energy of their person. They could have had, so they could have had a life path where they maybe used to be, I don't know. Hold on, let's go like all your cards. They could have had a life path where they were maybe, I don't know. They could have went through a phase or a transition in terms of maybe beauty or just how they felt about themselves. So they could have had a past of, ooh, okay, hold up. All right, I don't know if you can see those. I'm trying to go up far enough here. I've been trying to get out this sentence now for I don't know how long, so let's try to finish that. Sorry, group 3. So they could have had a life path where at one point they would have been maybe like I don't know, just kind of forgotten, I guess, in a way. They wouldn't have stood out necessarily. And then they moved into being very, like, noticeable, I guess, or they stood out, or they were there. Maybe they had where they wouldn't have been sort of the, I don't know, quintessential beauty in or attractiveness growing up, and then they moved into that as they got older. So they kind of, it's like a person who kind of ages like fine wine, I guess. I don't know. They could be, so there's two ways that the starfish hits. And I also want to say too that they could be an earth energy with the earthworm coming up here. I don't know why that seems important to note for a second. But okay, so starfish as somebody that is, they either have like a sort of a star quality to them, or they just stand out in a crowd, or there is something about them that is unique, and maybe to you or to others they're just not really like everybody else. They kind of move in their own authenticity. Also, they could be stubborn. So there's also that. They could be somebody who, it's like, you're not going to change their mind easily. And so I think, or it's like, not only that, it's they can get set in their ways, essentially, with this starfish energy. Now with the phoenix, the tiger, and the dragon, these are really important because these are all transformation cards. This is somebody comfortable with transformation, and they will keep going until they get what they want. This is like a real tenacious energy, y'all. And they've probably had a life path in which they've been through things throughout life, I would argue. So with the earthworm and the swan here, as well as the owl, and even the oyster too, it would indicate that they have a lot sort of that they have been through to kind of get them to here. And also the tiger as well, and tiger earning its stripes, would indicate that they have a life path of just really going through a lot, but building the ability to not let it get them down is really interesting here. Now, I do think that there are some sort of, I do think that this person keeps their sort of deeper emotions locked up. I also feel like that they're capable of alchemy. So they're capable of alchemizing from pain in particular, where if something just wasn't going right, it's like they can transform bad into good, which is really difficult to do. So one element of this person, now I think this is like interesting. I don't think it's like harsh, but it's okay. If you provoke this person, you might get stung. Okay, so I do think that this is somebody who kind of operates in a relatively passionate or kind space, but it's not, because it's like the vibe is, my friend always says this, I'm kind, not nice. And it's kind of this person too. It's like they have a backbone. So if they are provoked, there is a stinger in this space too. So that is kind of the character of your person. And also I'd argue that they are a hard worker and a real like go-getter kind of vibe. They're not going to just give up. Okay, what is the energy of your person? Hold on. You know what? Let me knock on these first. If that comes out again, great. What is the energy of group 3's person? What is the energy of group 3's person? Oh. the energy of group 3's person? Energy of group 3's person. Okay, so they are someone, okay, so this is interesting. So they do have an inner world that they kind of keep locked up. And I would argue that it has a lot to do with feelings of love, in particular with their heart sort of being encased here. You see, the imagery in this deck is so interesting to me because the cave, you see how the cave up close has this surrounding it is peeking in here, and then here in the heart is all this encased around it, and then inside of this space, it's this is kind of zoomed in and this is zoomed out. Inside of this is sort of their emotional feelings in terms of how they feel about connections. I do think that with this person, their energy is, so it's either that they are going to feel instantly connected to you with this vow card. It's they might look at you and be like, this is the one for me, and they're just determined by that. Or you could look at them and see that. But I think with them being in the go to distance thing, it's I almost feel like this person is kind of in an energy for a bit that has to convince you that they're the one. Honestly, it's you may be someone who has some trust issues or have been through some things as well. And so it's almost like this person has to prove it to you in some capacity. Another aspect of their energy is that there's somebody who just, okay, so I do think that you'll either see them transform within this connection with them, or they've been somebody who is very capable of transforming, and they are sort of in that energy. Here's the thing that I have come to understand. I felt like for a long time lessons were really difficult to understand. Or it would take me a long time to kind of unravel a pattern, or it would take me a long time to understand the why behind something. But once I started to really embrace change, it's almost like change and transformation came so much more rapidly, and then it was shifting often. And that's kind of the energy of the shapeshifter as well, where this person, it's they are so adaptable and capable of learning very quickly. And then it's if there's a behavior that this person exhibits that maybe you disagree with, they'll tweak it and understand your feelings in that space and then move forward. And it's they really have, and in terms of sustainer too, is that this is somebody who is essentially looking for long-term commitment. And they may be somebody who is also, just going down here with the crone card, is they could be somebody who is communicative, but also they could be somebody that is tapped into spirituality, and they could be very nurturing, or kind of a caregiver a little bit, or just as this father energy here is there's somebody who moves in a way that is nurturing in some capacity. It doesn't necessarily have to be father. I mean, if you're a masculine tapping into this, it could be mother or whatever, but just that they would be a good parent or something in that capacity. Then I have the riddle. So this could be somebody that takes you a second to kind of understand the behaviors. And then I also have the internal child. So they could be very playful. But I do feel like there's just an element to them that it's when you're dealing with them at first, I don't think you're going to necessarily understand why they operate the way they do or the behaviors that they're exhibiting towards you. Because it's like on one hand, they can be very serious or difficult to understand or a bit complex. And then on the other hand, they're very playful and very childlike. And so it's like, I feel like it's going to take you a second even to take this person seriously or trust them in some capacity. So, okay. Let's get into what's going on in your life when you meet this person. And then we'll do what kind of relationship you're going to have with them. What is going on in group 3's life when they meet their person? You could meet them at a time where you have a lot of people interested in you. You could meet them at a time when you're walking away from old patterns of behavior. Could meet them at a time where, hold on. Yeah. Okay. I do think when you meet this person, one element is that I don't think you're going to really be starved for attention, realistically. I think you actually probably are somebody who just, you know, I think in terms of people who are interested in you, it's going to be that it's like all eyes on you kind of thing, where this person is not going to be the only person interested in you. You may be in a space where even though there are eyes on you, you may be in a space personally or on your own where you are building foundations for some kind of new beginning and walking away from limiting beliefs and really bringing into balance what it is that you want. So you're going to have like this new beginning. I feel like you may have operated in the past in a way that was sort of kind of what everybody else wanted for you. And then in this space, when you meet this person, you're going to be in a space of really looking at what you want for self. And so you could be coming out of or in an energy when you meet them of sort of limbo, or in a space of trying to manifest a new beginning and walking away from some kind of betrayal or you know, some kind of situation in which you were being really held back, and you're in kind of this new beginning. Something else too is that you could be going through a bit of a healing process. Just the way this like Queen of Cups hits for me isn't necessarily as the same as, say, traditional decks in the light seers, because it's like very much having faith in sort of trusting self and trusting the emotional body. And so I think that you are actually building that when you meet this person, or in or even when you come into an awareness that this is your person. So I don't think that, honestly, you're going to be in a space that it's almost as though the reason this person maybe chases you to the capacity that they do is because they know that you're sort of a hot commodity, I guess, or they know that or at least they assume that they have competition, and so they're going to want to just continue to pursue you. All right, let's see what kind of relationship you're going to have with this person, group 3. I need a drink of my water once. Where is my water? I didn't bring it in here. I guess coffee it is. Okay. What kind of relationship you're going to have with this person, group 3? Somebody who encourages you to move more quickly with them, even. Someone who encourages you to take opportunities. Someone who encourages you to, interesting. It's like they almost encourage you to walk away from that which doesn't serve you and to really look at your options in life. And I think this person is going to be very encouraging of you, honestly. I think they're going to see you as, you know, as really having so much to offer. So I do feel like they're going to, I feel like you might have just a little bit of the kind of relationship that you're going to have. You may combat one another a little bit, okay, on sort of how to do things or how to move forward. But ultimately, I feel like it's going to be where it's almost like you together choose to walk away from old patterns of behavior and step into the sun together. I also feel there's a lot of encouragement in this space. I do feel like, honestly, it's going to be more so your person kind of pushing you to step outside of your comfort zone than it is the other way around. I feel like this person's going to be really an encouragement for you in sort of getting you into your own limelight, because I think your person actually has a little bit more comfortability in that space than maybe you will have. And so it seems like there's going to be quite a bit of encouragement in this space of sort of getting you into a space of taking more risk and really looking at your options in life, and bringing in a little bit stability in that space. They're really going to make you think too about sort of your own pathway and how you've been operating. So it's like, this is a relationship that you have where you all are going to build stability together. And I do feel like it's going to be a lot of encouragement. And this could be a duality as well. You could both be sort of encouraging one another to choose self in several different scenarios. And it's like your trajectory is always looking forward. So you're going to work together relatively well. Now, I do think there is going to be just a couple moments, or there may be some times where you're kind of, you two may be very stubborn and very headstrong. And so you may get into moments where it's like you have to figure out how to work together in certain spaces. But ultimately, it's like, it's almost in a weird way what keeps you interested and what keeps you continuing to move forward well within the relationship, where you don't become necessarily stagnant in this relationship. You two are consistently trying to expand your horizons in this energy. So it's actually kind of really beautiful. So okay, that is your life mate and all of the things, group 3. If you resonated into this, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you are interested in a private reading, you can check out the Temporal Taurus at outlook.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at the Temporal Taurus, because I do have small pick a card readings that I do there once or twice a week, or I'm going to try to do it a little bit more often now, where the messages are not the same typically as they are in this space. So that may be something to check out for you as well. Thank you so much for being here, group 3. Enjoy the rest of your day. Group 4. Group 4, I think you're going to question the validity of this connection quite a bit. So if you kind of skipped over the intro, I know this is titled Who's Your Soulmate, but we're going to ask it as like, who's your life mate? As in like, who are you intended to end up with in life? Okay, so now you have all that glitters, okay? So what's interesting about this card is that I feel like when you first meet this person, you're going to assume that this is too good to be true, is sort of the energy that's going to exist in this space with this person. And it's like, you're not going to trust that like either how they are acting towards you is authentic, or that how they feel about you is real. It's like you're gonna be in a space with this person where it's gonna take them quite a bit to convince you that they want to be in a relationship with you. So I think you might actually struggle a little bit with some self-doubt in this connection when you do meet your life mate. So Let's figure out who they are and what their character is. What is the character for group 4's person, please? What is the character for group 4's person? It's like this guy wanted. Ooh, okay. Oh, they could be a bit of a fiery personality. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I do think your person is going to have a bit of a okay, so it's giving me that sort of masculine energy that is like it's kind of it's how do I explain this? It's that energy where it's you don't want to you don't want to piss this person off, because there are some cards here that would indicate that they have a bit of a temper. I don't know how. I mean, I understand that we all kind of, that obviously like certain long-term commitments, not everything can be sunshine and rainbows, but I would argue that this person does have a little bit of a temper. So just, I guess that's something to be aware of. Hold on, I want to bring out these things as well, because I also feel like the reason that they have this has a lot to do with what they've been through. So I don't think it's necessarily, and even it's almost like, you know, for some of these creatures, they have to kind of be provoked, okay? So it's certain, some of these have to be a bit provoked. Now, I do think, however, they are going to be in a space of like, they are going to chase you. And I think that they're going to do it in a way that is clever. I do think, however, they have been through several life transitions and they have learned from their past. So this is somebody coming out with lots of wisdom cards, as well as having earned their stripes in life. So this is not somebody, this is somebody who's been through some things. And really the things that they've been through have put them in a space of having, like, inadvertently having to have tough skin. They do keep, however, sort of their softer emotions closed up, at least when I think when you first meet them or when you begin dealing with them. I don't think that they're going to be super emotional or very lovey-dovey kind of person. They're going to kind of keep those things locked up, and they are very intelligent, though. That's something that I think that when you meet this person, you're going to know that they have quite a bit of intellect to them. They have just a lot of life. It's almost like a lot of street smarts, kind of, where the way that, like, the things that they have learned and how they understand life is not necessarily about, like, it's not book knowledge, it's street knowledge, right? It's life knowledge. So they understand that life, it's almost as though they understand life isn't always fair. They understand that life can get you down. It's like they've been through some things that have brought them into this space and into this awareness today. So I do feel like they're a bit apprehensive, but also it seems like when they want something, they will go after it and they will get it and they will know how to get it. Many of these animals are very predatorial. Okay, so this is not going to be somebody that you're going to have to convince to pursue you, I don't think. They could pursue you in a way that is, you know, they might feel you out for a bit. They might have that kind of vibe to them. But they're also going to be somebody who does go after what they want. And I think that the way in which they approach you is going to be a way in which you feel like, is this all in my head, or is this too good to be true? So I do think that they're going to be very forthcoming, though. And could be very passionate as well. But very clever, very intelligent, and really has been through a lot of transformations in their life. Okay, let's see what your person's energy is. This group 4's energy. Interesting. You could be very physically attracted to this person. This is fascinating because their character doesn't, it's like it's kind of like they're like a softie inside, and like the other stuff is like it's like a tough exterior. Or it kind of reminds me a little bit of that kind of person that it's like everybody else is intimidated by them, but for you, they're just like a softie kind of vibe. I don't know. Because it's a lot. It's like weird because how this person interacts with you and their characteristic traits are like way different. They're going to be, I think that this person is going to be very honest with you about how they feel. They're going to wear their heart on the sleeve. They're going to be like, you're the one for me. I want you. They're going to pursue you. They're not going to hold back. They're going to be kind of in some capacity, like a hopeless romantic. And they're going to be very alluring, very attractive, even kind of a bit of a softie in some capacity, but also just very honest. And I do think that they're going to have some kind of like attribute to them that stands out. So this isn't going to be somebody that you kind of interact with often. They're going to be like part of what what's going to stand out about them. I really think group 4 is like how they approach you is just different than you've maybe been approached before. And so you maybe at first don't trust it, but they're a lover at heart. And it's almost like, it's interesting because I kind of feel like there's going to be this vibe with you a little bit that they have to kind of, it's like almost like they have to kind of break your shell too. And they're going to be very passionate, and it's almost a bit alluring. They could be very, it could be quite emotional. So it's interesting because they have these other attributes in terms of their personality, maybe having a little bit of a temper, but it's almost like this person is passionate. It's like if they're passionate about, like if something makes them angry, then they're like passionate about that. But if something makes them feel great, they're passionate about that. It's like they just kind of chase their passions a bit. And so with you, I feel like they're going to be just as passionate about you and really pursuing you and really like just enamored by you a bit. And it's so, or it's like kind of like when they feel sad, they feel very sad. It's like this is a person that is really comfortable in their emotions and they kind of just flow through them. You could maybe see this person as somebody who maybe has options or is like, to you, you're going to think that they could, like many people would be attracted to them kind of thing with this siren here. But the way, and this like all that glitters thing really is that, yeah, they may be in that space, or they may be somebody who a lot of people maybe are interested in, but they have, it's like they are, they want you, boo. This person's gonna have gone through some things and be a real like warrior. They may also, hold on, let's see here, what else we got come out. It doesn't necessarily like, you can take this as mother or father, but they could be a very nurturing person or have a very nurturing personality and be very, have a lot of depth to them in terms of emotions. So they could approach you with kind of a warrior spirit to them, but also just like they have, it's like this exterior, but then they have like a soft gooey center, you know what I mean? It's like they're a softie at heart and they're very nurturing and they have a whole lot of emotion. And I also think that your person is very comfortable actually with their emotions and being able to sit through those and understand them. So that is the energy of your person, group 4. Let's see what's going on in your life when you meet this person, and then we'll do what kind of relationship that you have. What is going on in group 4's life when they meet their person? You could be in a space where you just don't trust people, or trust, like trust is an issue, and it has a lot to do with like external. So the 5 of Swords is like kind of having your, it's like having to look over your back kind of thing, okay? And it's also it's a conflict card, and also it's like an external conflict card. So there's like other things going on around you that is kind of going on in your life when you meet this person. You'll be kind of stepping forward into a new beginning because of something that really shook up your life and is like having to push you into essentially a space of really having to be very resilient. You could be in a time where you are kind of seeking this 10 of Cups as well when you meet this person. But I do think when you meet them, it's like you will be in a period of time or in a moment of where you're having a lot of patience surrounding the pathway forward, or moving forward, or forward movement. You'll definitely have been through something that recently had shook up your life and called your intuition into question, where it's like you were in a space in which you couldn't trust yourself. And so you then had to kind of go within and see, it's like you almost had to dissect your own patterns to figure out how to move forward from this space and get into, and then it's like being in a moment where you're now seeking the 10 of Cups after some real self-reflecting and having to be resilient in a certain space of kind of recognizing almost your own patterns of behavior that may have been getting in the way in previous connections or scenarios, or just life in general, where you had been sort of in your own way. And when you meet this person, it'll be kind of when you, it's like, it's kind of in the moment of realizing all of these things about self. And then this person is just going to kind of come in and be like, hello, like I'm the reason that you've been doing all this work on yourself. It's like, it's kind of like that. And they're going to come in, and I do think they're going to just operate in a way that is different than anything that you've experienced before. And it is going to be sort of, I think even just dealing with this person may provide some tower moments for you in terms of like trust. All right, let's go in with what your relationship with this person is going to be like. And then we'll close out this reading. What is the relationship with group 4's person going to be like, please? Oh, those are just fell out from the last space. That's the 4 of Wands. That's good. Empress. They're going to make you feel like, what was I accepting for myself in all other spaces, honestly. What just wanted to pop out here? 2 of Cups and the 8 of Cups. Okay. Okay, so the relationship this person's going to be very emotionally fulfilling. They're going to be in a space that is like, they're going to give into you just as much as you give into them. It's going to be very equal give and take. They're going to put you in a space of I think they're going to help you even to walk away from things that are no longer serving you. They're going to support you into being this sort of divine energy or being whole within self. They're going to help you lay down foundations and seeing a future together. And you're both going to offer this for one another. You're both going to walk away from things that don't serve you. And you're going to be in a space where there are going to be, it's like you're together going to operate in a way that sees new beginnings and works together to build on ideas and build the foundation of your relationship and how you view and operate in the world together. It's like this person, although they may have, it's almost like they have just like a protective energy, honestly. Although they may have sort of a tougher exterior, maybe, they are someone who is like committed, and they're kind of that ride or die personality, really. Like they are going to want to go the long haul with you. They want to build on this relationship. They're going to want to work with you to have it's like they want this equal give and take with you. They want to be in a space where you are working together. They want you to see, it's like they're going to see you as this empress. And I think that they may take some convincing to have you see that they see you the way that they see you. Because they're going to really be in a space of seeing you as this very fulfilling person. And it's like, to them, it's like you're the apple of their eye. And so I do think that they're going to have a moment of like having to convince you of that almost. Very emotionally mature and very willing to walk away from anything that doesn't serve them in order to move into a space in which you two together are building upon this relationship. Very healthy, honestly. Beautiful connection moving forward. So very, very cool for you, group 4. Okay, that is your reading, group 4. That is your life mate. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Do check out Instagram too. I do post some pick a card readings there that are not the same messages here. If you are interested too in a private reading, you can reach out at the Temporal Taurus at outlook.com to set that up with me as well. But the biggest way that you can support me in this moment really is to just like and subscribe to the channel and to comment on this video. Thank you so much for being here, group 4. Enjoy the rest of your day.